This case is horrible. And I mean, I know he says he's pleading to a one-time penetration. Court is calling 2023 CR 0543, State of Texas versus Wilbert Villamil. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Jason Goss for Mr. Villamil.
And are you Mr. Villamil?
Yes.
Are you going to have to speak up so I can hear?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Villamil, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are proceeding on count 3 and waiving counts 1 and 2.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated sexual assault of a child? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years in prison and life and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes,
Mr. Villamil, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Counsel, has your client had a chance to confer with an immigration attorney?
I have conferred with an immigration attorney. I have informed him that a plea to this is, he's actually a permanent resident. A plea to this would be a certain denial of future permanent residency and deportation after serving a prison sentence, which is what he's pleading to.
All right. Mr. Vial, did your counsel advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
What was that again? Sorry.
I said, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of entering a plea in this cause number, either no contest or
Yes.
guilty, and how that applies to federal immigration law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the consequences of entering a plea in this case as it relates to your immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sure.
According to the plea, you're pleading on count 3. Punishment is to be assessed at 15 years in the prison. There are no applications. There's to be no contact with the complainants, and there's Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Here's my question, because I see that affirmative finding of family violence has been crossed through. Is this
Exactly.
complainant his relative or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes.
Showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
And we offer state's exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
Okay.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will find you guilty. Is there a reason I should accept this agreement? Why am I accepting this agreement?
Well, Your Honor, in this situation, what he has pled to is a single count of a single time of sexual assault of a child, which is aggravated sexual assault of a child. He has agreed to do this early on in his process. He is not contesting his guilt, and he is not contesting what's going on. He's agreed to go to prison, and 15 years is a substantial amount of time.
State, why should I accept
Your
this
Honor,
agreement?
Your Honor, the child is very young. She's in therapy right now. I discussed it with the mother. And this is, there is a desire to get closure early on in this case, Your Honor.
So
At this point, we haven't had to re-traumatize the child by bringing her in and talking to her about this case yet.
this case is horrible. And I mean, I know he says he's pleading to a one-time penetration, but from reading this,
He didn't say that. I said it because
Okay.
I was just talking about the legal issues
Yeah.
with that. So,
but I mean, having a child having her brother lick his butt.
that was something that I think was determined that did not happen.
Well, she says that he asked her to lick his butt.
That's a different one. Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Well, Your Honor, I'm not trying to like beat around the bush. She was showing me her crotch, and that's.
And you got turned on.
No, I didn't. I'm telling you, I'm not like physically like. Well, I did get turned on, but not. Well, after a while, she just kept doing that. Tell her not. You know what I mean?
So you're blaming a 6-year-old?
I'm not blaming my 6
Your
year
Honor, if I
old.
may, my client was sexually abused when he was a child.
How old is he now?
He's 35 years old now. But the trauma that he suffered as a child has definitely surfaced in a way that is abhorrent. It's in a way that is not good. And that's why we are here. And he is willing to go to prison, be a lifetime registered sex offender, almost certainly be deported. He'll never live. He's been in this country since he was 2 years old. He will never live in this country again legally. And he will.
So he's being released after he does his time, released to go somewhere else and deal with his trauma that may result in him molesting some other child?
Well, he has what he is hoping to do is, as you know, the TDCJ system offers a pretty comprehensive sex offender counseling and treatment. And of course, you know, he will at some point be wanting to go on parole. He knows that he's going to have to complete that to do that. We have talked about it, explained it. He's going to take the opportunity to do that, as well as other programs that are offered in TDCJ. He is motivated to do that. And you know, at some point when he is released, as I said, he's going to go to a country that he has basically never lived in his entire life.
What country would that be?
Mexico.
They have nice beaches there. So again, we go back to the point. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I can just say sorry, but like the only thing I can tell you is that I I try not to hurt her. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait, are you saying that you were molesting her, and as you were molesting her, you were molesting her in such a way because you didn't want her to hurt her?
no, I asked her, you can put this in your mouth. That's it. And she said, no. I said, that's fine. Okay, that's it.
No, this is a penetration.
Your Honor, if what he has pled to is, and what he confessed to is by penetrating the anus with his finger.
Mhm.
And he had told the police when they asked him that he told the police that he did that at the time, which is another thing. He was honest with the police. He told them what he did. You know, and at this point, we're asking for this because we have agreed early on not to leave this on a docket, not to go through the process, not to have his daughter have to come in and, as the prosecutor said, be traumatized by this, have to come in and talk to prosecutors, have to get the phone call from the DA's office. They want it done. They're going through a divorce. He's never going to have custody of these children. He's lost basically everything, including the country where he grew up, and he's going to lose his freedom for up to 15 years and for a minimum of 7.5. But as the court knows, parole doesn't happen like that for these cases. They're doing 75, 85% of their time. And so he's lost his freedom for more than a decade. He has done a horrible thing, and there's nothing that he can say right now that can explain that. I think the court's questions of him, how he has confessed to you and now that he has done it. And
No, he pled no contest.
He pled no contest because I advised it because there's a civil case going on, but that's a legal advice that he was getting from his lawyer.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand, but he pled no contest. So again, we're back to what were you thinking? Because I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from to figure out whether I should follow this plea or not.
Sorry, Your Honor, I didn't do it. I didn't do it to like hurt my daughter. I tried. I'm begging and telling you, please. I'm telling you, please. I'm not trying to force my hand in her vagina or in her ass. I basically grabbed her and I put my finger where it shouldn't be. That's it. Like I can't. I don't know how to.
No.
explain
So
it.
the way you're explaining it to me, you're making it seem like it was an accident.
No, it wasn't
So was it an accident or not? Because you're telling me you just grabbed her and you're making it seem like your finger just accidentally penetrated the
The
anus.
thing is, I just don't know what she wants. Like, she's spreading her legs at me. Like, what do you want me to do? And like, she's spreading her whole vagina at me, like at least 4 or 5 times, dropping her pants. Like, literally, like it's not like I'm telling you like my actions were right.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out where you are mentally. And yes.
So if I grab my daughter's butt and I throw her on the bed, and I didn't like forcefully sleep.
Your Honor, at the time he told police officers that he had put his finger inside of her anus.
So it wasn't accidental. Am I right in assuming that?
He did not tell the police officers it was accidental. I don't think that he's trying to communicate that to the court. We are asking the court to follow this plea bargain. It is obvious that the man has sexual deviancy, and it's obvious all of those things that we have for people who are charged and people who are convicted of this. All of those things we're doing here. He's going to the penitentiary. He's going to be a registered sex offender for the rest of his life. All of those things are what's happening in this situation for people who have this apparent or this abhorrent behavior. He's obviously injured this child, and he understands that. He's signing for 15 years to go to prison because of what he's done.
All right. So this is a life case, honestly. So State, you want to explain to me why the court should follow this 15 years?
Your Honor, this was done, having been in this position, I have seen these cases that languish for 4, 5, 6 years. And I had discussion with the mother, and the benefit of the child was to get this done, have no right to appeal, so the child could move on. It's up to the court's discretion. I'm happy to reconfer with defense counsel as well on this.
All right. If you all want to reconfer, the court would be willing to accept a plea of 20 years, not 15. If you all want to reconfer on that, you can.
Okay.
All right.
Your Honor, 2 things.
Yes.
I'm set in jury trial in County Court 13. They're starting to pick the jury now.
Oh, tell them you're in felony court. I'll call County Court 13.
It's Judge Skinner. It's County Court 13 impact.
I'll call them. So if you all want to confer and see if he's willing to accept 20 years,
I can't talk to my client about something like this in the matter of a few minutes. I mean, this is something that we just asked for a reset. If that's what the court is asking us to do, it puts too much pressure on the attorney-client relationship for me to talk to him in the box about a complete reworking of this plea bargain. I spent hours with him in the jail, going over discovery, doing all this stuff, and this is I'm asking for a new setting.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for tomorrow.
And if I'm in jury trial
Oh, at 12:13, you need to be here tomorrow.
and have her jury wait.
Yes. This is district court. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Adias, Hernandez, Rivas. Court is called